Tonight on Missing Persons Unit, a Queensland town rallies to search for one of their own.
I don't think I ever heard a bad word against the lass. She was fairly popular.
But they still don't know whether they've found Kerry Mai's remains.
The possibility that they could be human remains.
A father of 3 loses his job and his will to go on.
No money.
You can't do a lot of things.
Insurance is trying to, play around with us.
Police know time is running out for Peter Doyle.
25 years of love. It's gone.
After all the bells and whistles of a Cambodian wedding, it's the case of the runaway bride.
I just asked her to go to bed.
It seems this tiny one-bedroom flat was just too much.
I think she's got a ticket, and I'd reckon she could even be gone, but we'll find that out in about 5 minutes.
And what's happened to teenager Dean Johnson.
Dean, if you're alive, let me know. If you're dead, so be it.
Police are often still working long after they should be home. Long hours, too many cases. But they are the first to admit they need all the help they can get when their searches take them into unknown terrain, when they go bush. It's then police call on the likes of State Emergency Services volunteers, national parks, and state and rural fireys. In fact, if there wasn't that cooperation between the different organisations, one man in this next episode may not have survived. At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit,
Hello. Regina, is it?
Senior Constable Mandy Gale is interviewing the wife of missing father Peter Doyle.
How are you, Doyle? Not very good.
No.
Peter, who's been depressed since losing his job, vanished 24 hours ago after an argument with his wife, Regina.
Yesterday, seemed to have like sparks coming off him. And he said, I don't even want to wake up in the mornings. I don't know why I'm even here. About 10 minutes later, I heard him go.
Okay. Has he got a mobile or anything on him?
No mobile.
Has he done this before, Regina?
A few months ago. Got a feeling he's had a total breakdown now.
I'll get up there as soon as I can and we'll get started, okay?
Okay.
You hang in there till then. You got my number if you need to contact me in the meantime, but we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Okay? All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Would class this as a high-risk case, so we need to get up there and speak to her and try and work backwards to the inquiries we can make and try and help find him as soon as we can.
Meanwhile, in Queensland, police are about to begin one final search for Kerry Mai.
We're on the Cunningham Highway at the moment, heading towards Englewood, a road that Kerry would have had to have travelled. There's going to be 50 SES conducting a search out there for any evidence that may help us to discover the mystery of where Kerry is.
Last week, Queensland Police reopened the 4-year-old case after suddenly finding Kerry's car.
Her vehicle was located outside Leyburn, which is a great distance from her intended destination of Cunnamulla. She had packed up her pets, most of her belongings, had left a note saying that she was going to see her sister and hasn't made it.
So police launch a search of dams in the forest where the car popped up.
Yeah, just found a bone of some description. Looks like I'm not too sure, something like a vertebrae or something.
Then police came across this other incredible find.
So here's all these jewels that were found in the back of the teddy bears.
Thousands of dollars of jewellery on the back seat of Kerry's car.
And where did Kerry get those stones from?
From my grandfather.
From your grandfather, yeah.
So today, 50 State Emergency Services volunteers and police begin their last search of the area where Kerry's car was abandoned.
You're probably going to run into a lot of bones out there. Probably all of them are going to be animal bones of some description. If it's anything that's obviously human, like a skull or something like that, don't touch it, just leave it there and just give us a GPS reading and we'll come out.
Thank you. Let's do it.
16 square kilometres to cover and only a few hours of daylight left. It's now a race to get in and out before dark. Back in New South Wales, Mandy's off to the Central Coast to interview Peter Doyle's distraught wife.
We're extremely concerned. There's some indicators there that he may hurt himself or is very, very depressed, so the sooner we get up there and sort it out, the better.
Peter's troubles started when he was no longer able to work.
He got himself a back injury at work just over 4 years ago. He had to basically quit, and about 3 years ago, I think it is, he had a back operation, which didn't help. And he's been depressed ever since because of the pain.
Yeah, sure.
No money.
You can't do a lot of things.
Insurance is trying to, play around with us. And
So, unable to provide for his family, it all became too much for the proud dad.
he said the only reason he stays around me is because he doesn't want to see me hurt. He doesn't want to... He doesn't want to upset me. That's the only reason he stays, otherwise he said he wouldn't hang around on this earth.
And for Peter to disappear just days short of their 23rd anniversary is even more heartbreaking.
On Saturday, anniversary. We've been through a lot of rotten things through our life. We've always come out. I just want him back.
Meanwhile, in Queensland,
Field HQ, this is Team 6, over.
3 hours into the search for Kerry Mai,
We're about 200 metres into our sweep, over.
SES volunteers are moving even deeper into the forest.
Make sure there's nothing underneath the logs. People have a tendency to lie down beside them to keep warm. It's a slow process. You make sure that you cover all the ground that you can in the time that you've got.
And one volunteer in particular is making sure he covers as much ground as he can before nightfall.
Kerry, having been from home, brings it a little bit closer to me than other people.
Peter is a friend from Kerry's hometown of Chinchilla.
We're heading that way, so we need a line across here.
Well, she was well liked around the town. Quite often you'd see her doing her exercises with a dog and one thing and another. She's a very pleasant lass. That's why so many of us are here, is to try and find something and bring things to a close and make everybody, satisfied as to what has happened.
But just then, the unexpected happens. The command post receives this message.
There's someone blowing a whistle near us, over.
It's a call for help from deep in the bush.
Headquarters, our grid reference.
Back in the Leyburn Forest in Queensland,
can you just explain a little bit further as to what you mean by a whistle being blown?
tension is growing as police try to work out who's blowing a rescue whistle somewhere in the scrub.
Yeah, and I can just take a ride over there. Yeah.
I'll just confirm that grid reference again, Team 4, 71596961, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Over.
Were you suggesting that's another team that's blowing a whistle to attract your attention? Is that correct, over? Yeah. Yeah, it's one of our own teams which is trying to locate another team.
Maybe they've found something. Meanwhile, down in New South Wales, hot on the trail of Peter Doyle, Mandy has asked the local police for help.
Hello, how are you? Mr. Doyle, can we sit and have a chat?
Yep, come on through.
Thanks.
Because of Peter's state of mind, Mandy's first thought is to check hospitals.
His wife contacted one hospital this morning in Gosford, and they haven't heard from him or seen him.
She mentioned to the park he was found in last time.
Yeah, we've been down there this morning.
Nothing.
And they were there last night as well. Nothing.
What are your concerns?
He should be on his medication. He hasn't taken anything with him. He's meant to pick up some today, and without his medication, his depression gets worse.
Yeah.
But just then, Constable Becker gives Mandy what could be her best lead yet.
He used to be in the volunteer fire brigade up here, so he knows the area pretty well.
Really?
So Mandy quickly rings Peter's wife, Regina, to find out if Peter might have gone bush.
Guy 2 doors up. He said, "Oh, you want to go somewhere? Have you ever heard of Eaton's Lookout?" He also mentioned Monkey Face. because he knows the area. As a kid, they used to go all over the place with their dirt bikes.
From her experience, Mandy knows that people who disappear often go back to familiar spots. And if she's right, they might find Peter Doyle in the National Park, a place he's loved since childhood.
You'd hate to turn around and have somebody ring up and say, look, there's a guy up here that's dead on the mountain.
Oh, definitely. God, we hope it doesn't get to that. I'll give you a ring soon, hopefully, and let you know what's going on.
Okay.
All right, Regina. Okay, darling, bye. Information that's come through about a location that they've actually talked about. There's good cause that he may be up there. It's important we get out and have a look.
Back in the Leyburn Forest in Queensland, Detective Darren Tamlin is racing from one search area to another. The search party blowing the whistle for backup have found something.
Oh, yeah, it's the bones there.
It's a skull,
25 years.
a canine skull.
When Kerry went missing, she actually had a dog with her at the time.
Yeah, I know, a big Doberman, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was a Labrador crossed with an Alsatian, yeah.
It could give them a clue as to whether it was just Kerry and a dog that came here, with the dog looking after her, or whether when she was disorientated and pulled up there and the dog took off with a scent of some other animal and didn't come back and she came looking for it or something happened, well...
We won't know the result until we get the scientific examination done. I'm just going to head back up to the bike, take all the bones back to the base camp there, and we'll lodge them in a proper exhibit bag.
It could be Kerry's dog, Grizzly, who disappeared with Kerry 4 years ago. Meanwhile, in New South Wales, the search for Peter Doyle has moved to the Wattagans National Park. Mandy's brought along ex-firefighter and Peter's best friend, Lindsay. And she's asked local ranger Mark Hodgins to lead the search.
There are hundreds of tracks in here, overgrown tracks used for logging that are no longer in use. Some are used by bikes. You could get lost here very easily.
We know that he's only got half a tank and he's got no money, he's got nothing, all right? He never took his mobile phone, so I reckon he's somewhere around here somewhere.
Well, without water, you won't survive very long at all, especially the last few days have been quite humid. And if he's on foot, if he's abandoned his car and he's on foot, it's quite steep terrain. Yeah, I wouldn't think that he would survive too long.
It's been 5 days now, and time's running out for Peter Doyle.
Please, if you find him, please see him. Please. I love him to bits. I can't cope with this. 25 years of love. It's gone.
Back at the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit...
Hello, is that Ying, is it?
Senior Constable Gary Bailey is on the phone to Yui Lee. He's reported his arranged Cambodian bride, Yui, missing.
The information we have is that you just got married recently to your wife. Is that right, in Cambodia?
Yeah, Cambodia married, and I stayed with her in Cambodia about 3 weeks after married.
Yep.
She doesn't want to leave.
She didn't want to come to Australia?
Yes, doesn't want to leave.
Why is that? Because it's a new country, or...?
She wants to live in Cambodia, I don't know.
Just 24 hours after she arrived in Sydney, Yui was gone and took with her $15,000 in cash, a wedding gift from her father.
Well, what I'm going to do, when I get off the phone here, I'm going to do a check to see if she's gone back as of yet. I'll give you a ring shortly, Ying, all right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
OK, then. Bye. He's brought his wife out last Saturday night. About an hour later, Ying heard the door slam, got up, and his wife had gone. Well, I would think probably what will happen is she'll get on a plane back to Cambodia as soon as she can. So I'll go and do a check shortly with the immigration department and see if she hasn't already gone, and then we'll probably go out and see Ying and try and get some more info.
Meanwhile, in the National Park, north of Sydney, the search for missing father Peter Doyle is in full swing.
Head towards Caldera, have a look at the basin. It is a camp area, but it's a fairly out of the way camp area.
Police hope campers may have seen him.
There's a vehicle over the edge on the way up the mountain. Now, I don't know whether it's an old one.
White car?
White car.
Just near where the tar finishes and the dirt
Yeah. That's an old one, eh?
Oh, no, there's nothing over there. I've been right through there. But just when you see me coming down here, I just point for there.
Yep. No, we haven't seen anything.
Nothing here, so they head deeper into the bush.
It's too populated.
And with the tracks narrowing, the search becomes even more hazardous.
This doesn't look too good.
It's the end of the road on this track.
I don't think he would have got around that.
But after 1 hour, a fallen tree forces them to turn back. If Peter is wandering in here, he'll be lucky to survive.
It's coming into the season, whether it's warming up, so the snakes will definitely be out. There are also a few wild dogs in the area as well.
Yeah, as the day goes on, I'm really worried. In Peter's case, he's not on his medication, he's in a lot of pain, which, you know, hopefully won't push him into doing something, you know, we'll all regret.
Back in the hunt for runaway arranged bride Yui Lee, Gary is off to Cabramatta in Sydney's west to interview her husband.
She's got this unknown heart problem. She has money, but she can't really talk English. So, you know, she could be quite vulnerable.
Yui, seen here at her wedding in Cambodia, comes from a wealthy family. She invited 700 guests to their lavish celebration. So it must have been a bit of a surprise for Yui when the door opened to her new life into a tiny one-bedroom flat in Cabramatta.
That's Mr. Marsh. She's still in the country as of now.
Was there any disagreement at the time she disappeared? No, she went missing? No?
No. Very late at night, I just asked her go to bed.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I don't want to go to bed. And stay and sit here, not turn on the light and put it down.
That's where Yui quietly sat in the dark, waiting for her husband to go to bed. Then Yui made her move, taking the cash and her passport.
Now, all the people in Cambodia were very concerned about her.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. They
And
very
her health not very good.
Yeah, what has she got, some heart problem?
Yeah, heart problem.
So looks like there's a little bit of age gap between you and Yui?
Me and her?
Yeah.
15, I think, 15.
And that's not unusual in arranged marriages like this one. But what is unusual is for a Cambodian bride to do a runner.
He's none the wiser where she is. We're now going to go to Cabramatta, see some travel agents and some couple of bank exchanges and see if she's been to any of those.
She's only 19, carrying $15,000 in cash, can't speak English, and on the streets. Meanwhile, in the national park, after 6 long hours, Mandy calls a halt to the search.
Thank you so much, Mark. That was great of you to take us around. All the best. You will. Thanks, Mark.
Nice to see you. Right up.
Thank you.
Tired and exhausted, they reluctantly head back to Sydney.
Lucky we've got them, we'd be stuck.
Then, just when it all looks hopeless, Mandy gets this call.
Senior Constable Gale from Missing Persons Unit.
How you going, Gavin Hay, Rebecca Hay?
Please tell me you've got our missing person.
Yeah, good morning. Peter Doyle's your missing person.
He is. Is he alive?
He's taking a fair bit of medication, though. He's not real healthy.
Another team has found Peter, wandering, exhausted and confused, only minutes from where Mandy was searching.
Has anyone told the family yet?
No, we're on our way to Wyong Hospital.
We're about 10 minutes, I suppose, from Regina, so we'll go and pick her up and bring her up to Wyong, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, not a problem. We'll see you up there.
You're awesome. You've made our day. You're going to make hers. Thanks, Gavin. Bye.
Ta-da.
It's Peter. Condition-wise, he doesn't seem to be very well, so they've been unable to get in touch with Regina, so we need to get her and get up to Wyong as soon as we can.
Back in Cabramatta, Gary has moved his search for runaway bride Yui Lee to local banks.
We're just walking around the streets here at Cabramatta trying to see if Yui's made any money transactions or booked any
tickets back to Cambodia. But, at this stage, we're not having much luck at all.
If Yui has banked any of that $15,000, it could mean she plans to stay. But none of the banks have seen her.
We've had no joy there either, so go on to the next one.
So, with no bank activity, Gary reckons she's planning to leave the country. While Gary checks airline bookings, husband Ying asks Yui to return.
Please come back, and I will bring to Cambodia soon, to mother and father.
Meanwhile, in the search for missing dad, Peter Doyle, Mandy is about to be reminded why she joined the police force.
Is it good luck walking past a black cat?
It's very good luck, and great news for Peter's wife, Regina.
You know why it's good luck? You found him. Entrance police have found him, OK.
Is he all right?
At the moment, he's not very well. They're taking him over to the hospital to Wyong.
Oh, God.
OK, but he's alive. OK, and until we get up there, I can't see anymore because I don't know anymore. OK, so we've come to get you, and Mark and I are going to take you up to Wyong if you want to grab something.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, God. Oh, thank you. Oh. They found you, he's alive.
It's moments like these that make this job so special.
They found him, he's alive, Lex. He's alive. They found him. He's at the hospital. He's not well, but he's alive. I think it's Wyong, but they've come to pick me up and take me down there. Can you get home quick?
And within minutes, the family is coming from everywhere. "5 days of heartache and wondering are almost over. Here at the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit,
I'm just going to go through the report with you to see if we can pick anything else up. Okay.
Steve McAllister has started working on his new case of missing 18-year-old Dean Johnson.
The last time I seen Dean was the 14th of June.
That was a month ago.
Now, where did Dean actually live at?
Here with me, but he could be gone for days, and I would ring, like, Tim, Aaron.
But this time, even his mates hadn't heard from him until he sent a devastating text message saying he wanted to be with his dead father.
He has sent these messages that he's going to end it because that's the only way that he will get peace. I would hate for him to be, like, in the bush somewhere with, like, a little branch over him, like, trying to keep warm or something, you know, as he died or something, you know?
At least we can try and find out if... You there? Hello?
Hello?
You there?
Oh, no, this is her daughter. She's just upset at the moment.
Yeah, just tell her we'll get back to her. Okay?
All right.
Thanks, tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
His father's death did affect Dean, as it would any child, if a father suddenly takes his life. Yeah, there is a concern that he may try and do something silly himself.
Back in Cabramatta, in Sydney's west,
We're battling out here looking for this lady, mate. Can you just take her details down?
Gary is requesting an urgent profile check on Yui.
Yeah, and an E. Date of birth's the 10th of the 10th, 87. Mate, if you go over and just see Petra and just see if she can do it pretty well snappily. OK, mate, good on you, bye. I personally think she's just been shopping around this morning, got her money and that ready, got a ticket, and I reckon she could even be gone, but we'll find that out in about 5 minutes.
Gary is getting even more worried. Yui is still on the streets and carrying wads of cash. She's easy prey.
I'm going to go over and check one more travel agency down the road here, which is a Cambodian one.
Meanwhile, across town, Steve is heading 2 hours to the New South Wales Central Coast to interview teenager Dean Johnson's mum.
At this stage, there's not a great deal to go on. It's been like close to 5 weeks since he's been gone. There's not a great deal. We're hoping to find out some details from his bank to find out where he's been maybe taking money out from, which at least would give us an area then to concentrate in. At the moment now we're virtually looking anywhere in Australia.
Dean has done this before.
I'm after Bronwyn.
Yeah.
But never taken his belongings.
He's taken a lot of things. He's even gone through the, you know, the baby blue books.
Took his dad's jacket, he took all his clothes and stuff.
And then this frightening text message to his mate.
So I guess I was right, nothing ever comes my way. I'm never going to be happy in this life. I guess I thought things would get better. I know what I have to do to stop this pain. I guess I was just gutless before. You're a good friend and I wish you the best in life and take care of that mum of yours. She's a good woman. Goodbye, mate.
I just hope that he's okay.
Back in Cabramatta, in the search for the runaway bride,
That check should be back in about 5 minutes. So.
local travel agents tell Gary they haven't seen Yui Lee.
Yeah, well, we've been in there to the main Cambodian travel agent in Cabramatta, and they've done an extensive search, and no one by that name's booked any tickets. So.
It would be easy to hide out here too. Cabramatta has the highest concentration of Cambodians in the state. But then they get this call.
Hello? She's still in the country.
It confirms Yui is still on Australian soil.
Yeah, well, we'll have to just keep going, I suppose, and see what happens, but I don't think there's a lot more we can do here. Sort of like looking for a needle in a haystack out here, you know.
Meanwhile, in the case of teenager Dean Johnson, Steve has discovered that Dean's ex-partner is in Perth with their baby daughter.
So how close were they?
They didn't get along very well, so he
No.
tried over there, but it just didn't work out between him and her, so...
It certainly hasn't been easy for Dean. First, he lost his dad, then his relationship broke up, and he lost his daughter.
He's just turned 18. He's had hurtful things happen to him.
We all miss you. Just putting us all through hell. Just get home. We miss you.
Bronwyn has already lost her husband, and now, after Dean's threatening text message, his mum fears the worst.
Dean, I love you. Aaron loves you. Jimmy loves you. He knows that. If you're alive, let me know. If you're dead, so be it.
Steve is outside the Johnson home checking the teenager's bank records.
We had him doing some ATM just account balances at Lake Haven.
Lake Haven, yeah, and that was...
It's good news. Someone has been using Dean's accounts, and it's probably him.
There's also proof that there's a transaction by the Bank of Queensland ATM in Queensland.
Bank of Queensland ATM?
Yep.
And the last transaction is in Western Australia, and that is where Dean's daughter lives.
I just got a little bit of news. Can I come in and talk to Bronwyn? Bronwyn, I've just made some inquiries to the bank. Looks like Dean's travelling around a bit. Been in a few towns, one of them in New South Wales, one in Queensland, the last one's in Western Australia.
It is positive news.
2 days ago.
No way.
But his mum, Bronwyn, still fears the worst.
He hasn't been in Western Australia and then in Queensland in a matter of like 3 weeks.
Bronwyn finds it hard to believe her son is moving so easily from state to state.
OK. Rightio. See you later.
It's incredibly frustrating.
The mother, for some reason, just doesn't want to believe it's him. Okay, best thing we can do is try and find him nice and quick, get him sighted, and maybe then the mum will believe us that he's still alive.
Meanwhile, here in Queensland, it's the end of a long, hard day searching for Kerry Mackay's remains.
Spread out a little bit on the right there.
So Darren takes one last look at the northern boundary, an old rabbit-proof fence.
This is the end of the perimeter of the search, and it travels for kilometres with barbed wire over the top of it. Over this side, the area is private property, and it's mustered by the owner regularly. If she did get over the fence, well, I would have thought that anyone that was mustering the land over the last 4 years would have found her. We have spoken to a member from the Forestries Department who has stated to us that approximately 4 years ago he did see a female walking along this fence. At the time he didn't think anything strange about it because they do sometimes get bird watchers out here and so forth. But she was alone, perhaps in her late 30s or early 40s, which is consistent with Kerry.
If Kerry did make it here while having a schizophrenic episode, anything could have happened.
I believe that Kerry's walked back into the bush and either become disorientated, gotten lost. It's such a big area out here, it's a pretty easy place to get lost. And once you're in there, there's no one that sort of goes into the state forest here. You can't last long without water.
Back at the New South Wales Missing Persons headquarters.
Yeah, g'day Rebecca. My name's Steve McAllister. I'm from the New South Wales Police Missing Persons Unit. How are you?
I'm good.
Steve has tracked down Dean's ex-partner, Rebecca.
It's just in relation to a male person who got reported missing over here in New South Wales by the name of Dean Johnson.
Yeah.
You know Dean?
Yeah, it's my baby's father.
Yeah, that's right, yep. Have you seen him recently?
No, I wouldn't have. I don't have any contact with him.
He hasn't contacted his family for about 4 weeks. Do you know if they're having any problems or anything?
Yeah, they always have problems.
There is an indication that he may have used his ATM card over in Perth a few days ago.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yeah. Okay,
I really hope he's not trying to come back over here.
If Dean has gone to WA, in his state of mind, it's the last thing he needs.
Oh, my God. OK, thank you for that, and I'll definitely call because I don't want him over here.
Yeah. OK, then, Beck.
Okay,
thank you very much for your time.
See ya.
So, bye-bye.
Nothing new from Dean's ex. So Steve asks Centrelink if they have a new address for Dean's pension.
Centrelink will actually send a letter to the house he's got listed as his place of abode, asking him to contact us here or go into a police station.
Meanwhile, here in Queensland, at the end of a long, hot day, police call off their search for Kerry Mackay. But there has been some success. State Emergency Services volunteers have found new evidence.
Yep. You got the GPS readings on that bit of paper and the name of the finder?
Yes.
Yep.
The GPS readings will become crucial if these bones are Kerry Mackay's.
But the possibility that they could be human remains, and I don't have the knowledge to say, well, yes or no, so that's why they go to Brisbane to be examined.
But unbelievably, as they pack up, a last-minute roll call of State Emergency Services volunteers confirms that 5 of their own searchers are now missing. So police swing into action.
I'm going down in the police car. When we get roughly down there, we'll hit the siren. Okay. They'll certainly hear the siren.
Okay.
With temperatures falling quickly, this search is far from over. At Wyong Hospital, north of Sydney...
Just wait till we get the OK to go in and... Oh.
For Regina Doyle, it's been a long week.
These are the police that found Peter.
She's arrived to see her husband for the first time.
Gavin Hayden's my name. That's okay.
Thank you very much.
This is Peter Walton.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
That's
guys.
all right. Obviously, you're happy you've heard that he's safe and well.
I'm over the moon.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Thank you so much. I can't tell you enough.
No, I'm glad that you're happy.
Yeah,
That's great. So would you like to come in and say good day? We've spoken to him, so he's pretty keen to see you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad.
But because Peter is unwell, Regina is only allowed a few minutes with him. We have to wait until he sees the whole family back at home.
He couldn't have hoped for a better result. He'll get the medical attention he needs, and hopefully in time I'll get back to normal, and we need a stamp on our car. Found.
For the time being, Mandy's job is done. In an emotional moment, Peter will soon be reunited with his whole family. In Queensland, State Emergency Services volunteers searching for Kerry Mai are still looking for 5 of their own team members.
Are you still following the creek? Over.
No, we're heading west.
They've sent a 4-wheel drive, siren blaring, to guide the lost team to safety.
If they keep heading towards west, keep going the way they're going, they'll hit the track and we'll be able to pick them up.
Fortunately, he was right. Just before nightfall, the exhausted searchers are ferried to base.
We're going to keep this very short and very sweet. We don't want anyone to get lost going home.
Thanks very much, everyone, for coming today. You did a really good job. We have found a few things that are sort of interest to us today, so it hasn't been totally futile, the search.
It's now up to forensics to determine whether the bones collected are those of Kerry Mai.
I realise it's been 4.5 years since Kerry Mai was last seen, her last confirmed sighting at Chinchilla in 2003. However, if anybody does have any information which would assist us, if they could contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000, it would be much appreciated.
Next morning, back at the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit...
Hello.
G'day, it's Steve McCullough from the Missing Persons Unit.
18-year-old runaway Dean Johnson heard police were looking for him and finally called home.
Dean actually rang last night. I didn't take the call, my son Clint did.
Right, yep.
What Dean said to Clint was, why were the police there at your home? And Clint said, I don't know. And then Dean said, why do I get the feeling that you're hiding something from me, and then hang up?
Okay, right, yeah. So obviously someone's told him that we're there.
Yes.
But at least your mind's at rest now.
That he's alive.
So, okay then, Brumwell?
Okay,
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I think Dean's had enough, actually, of being there, probably, by the sounds of it. Even though the mum mightn't want to admit it, and I think he's just moved out with a couple of other fellas. He just wants to get away, wants to maybe set up his own life.
Meanwhile, across town, Gary's on his way to see jilted husband Ying with some news about his runaway bride.
We've had some news this morning that Yui, the missing person, has left the country and gone back to Cambodia. So I'm going to go out and see Mr. Lang and break the news to him and see what he's going to do next. It's unusual that missing person has gone back so quickly. Sometimes people will come out, but they'll disappear for the simple reason they just want to stay here illegally. But she came out, stopped at a very short time and gone back, which is very unusual. How are you going, Ying? Good. So have you heard anything?
She rang me.
Yui rang, did she?
Yeah, rang me 2 times already.
Where from?
I asked her, she didn't answer. She didn't tell me. She like angry quick. I don't know.
She actually left the country yesterday morning at 7:15 from Mascot.
From Mascot?
Yeah. Oh. I would say she's gone back to Cambodia.
She go back to Cambodia.
Yeah, she's left the country. Well, she's left. Where she got off, she could have got off, I don't know, Singapore, anywhere, I suppose.
Oh.
But she's definitely left Australia. It may be an idea if you ring the mother-in-law and tell her that she's left yesterday morning, left Australia.
So you saw she fly yesterday?
Yeah, positive.
Oh.
There's no doubt about that. She's gone.
An arranged marriage that became a nightmare. But as hurt as he is, Ying is already planning for better days.
Maybe get married in Australia again, but not the big marriage. Yeah.
It's very sad for the poor bugger, you know. Brought her all the way out here. Things haven't worked out. And so really, that's about all we can do. And just hope everything works out in the future for him.
Back at the Missing Persons Unit, Mandy's already onto a breaking case.
Hello? Yeah, can I speak to Sandra, please?
She's on the phone to the frantic mother of missing 16-year-old Tatua.
They seemed fine and that before they went yesterday?
Yeah.
They hadn't been talking about sort of going out to friends' places, nothing?
Just acting normal. It was just out of ordinary.
It's a case of double trouble because Tatua has taken off with her best friend.
Checked the room where they have all their personal stuff, like birth certificates and that. It was empty. Then my husband said to me the night before he saw a backpack in the linen cupboard back there the next morning, but when we were running around trying to find what's going on, that there's no backpack anymore.
All right, don't worry. I'll talk to you when I come out anyway and see if we can find these girls.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, Sandra, see you soon.
All right,
bye. Poor lady, she's got a lot on her plate at the moment, and as I said to her then, you know, these kids go off and they have they couldn't care less sort of what it does to the family that's left behind. Shannon seems to have done this, you know, a fair bit, whereas Tua doesn't. So easily she can be influenced by someone that's saying, look, it's fine, you know, we'll be okay, I know where to go, I've done it before, you know, without her realising the dangers. And I think if we find them, the key will be they'll be together.
A few days later, at the Doyle home, Peter is finally out of hospital and back with his family.
I've been feeling really good since I've been in the hospital, and things are really starting to look up.
And when Peter disappeared for those 5 days, he could not have been more alone.
Oh, I felt like, you know, that was the best thing I was doing for the family, I thought. Not have to worry about me being around. And that's just the way I felt. That's how dark a place it was.
But with the support of his childhood sweetheart and his loving children, life is good.
It's just sort of bowled me over, really, as to how many people were out there and trying to help me, and have tried to help me since. Actually, I feel ashamed in a lot of respects. I'd advise anyone that was getting anywhere near it, or even just getting low, to just go and try and get some help.
Sound advice from Peter, who now cherishes every moment with his family.
He's been given a second chance. We have. I just want to enjoy every minute now.
Love it to death. Get ourselves back on track and start living life again.
Yeah.
Every year, 30,000 people go missing. Have you seen 42-year-old James Rothfield, who disappeared from Hornsby, New South Wales in 1986? Or 36-year-old Lisa Govan, last seen in Kalgoorlie in 1999. And 28-year-old Brett McGilvray, missing from Hermannsburg in the Northern Territory in 2006. If you have any information, please call 1-800 333 000.